Welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I try to bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome Elliott Baretz, the Senior Director of AppSmart. Prior to joining AppSmart, Elliott led the sales and marketing teams at Insight as their National Director of Microsoft Business. Prior to that, Elliott was the Vice President of the Microsoft Business Unit at PCM, where he was responsible for over $1 billion in commercial and public sector Microsoft revenue. Elliott, welcome to the Top Gun Show.
Thanks, Steve. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you on. You're doing a great job at AppSmart. Makes my job easy when you lead so well. So thank you for that.
No, I appreciate you saying that. No, but very excited to be with AppSmart and continue the journey.
Yeah, for sure. Well, today I'd like to interview you to discuss our Envision sessions. One of my sales partners recently told me, Steve, that's by far the best thing I've seen come from AppSmart in the past 2 years. So let's start with that. What is an Envision session?
Sure. A lot of this is about helping us navigate what could be complex conversations around the cloud with our customers. And so what we've done is taken some time to develop a very pragmatic experience for our customers to understand what are good potential cloud outcomes for specific technologies. Very often what happens in technology is we get into these discovery conversations that are sprawling and really don't have very clear end states, very clear next steps. And it's very hard to, jump into those conversations and make the time and feel comfortable with that investment. With an Envision session, what we're providing is something that's very precise, perhaps an hour long, doesn't cost any money for our end customers to get into those conversations. They're with subject matter experts, so we're providing that value. And there's just a whole bunch of intellectual property that we've built into the experience to get them from a very beginning conversation to a very clear next step. And a lot of it is, understanding the 80-20 rule, right? So what's the 20% of a particular solution that's going to bring 80% of the value? And how do we quickly deliver that outcome based on listening to our customer, understanding what the requirements are, and moving that forward? So it's really trying to distill what could be a very complex conversation into a very pragmatic and, simple one.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great rundown. I try to tell my sales partners, it's really like the HOV lane of doing business together. It bypasses all the traffic and all the noise and really shows us how we can do business better together. So yeah. Who's taking the Envision session? Is it us and the end user, and the sales partner? Who benefits?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It is AppSmart that's delivering the Envision session. We have a team of folks, we call them cloud solution executives, that are what you would refer to as a 300 level technologist, maybe even more, that has the subject matter expertise to facilitate this conversation. And so we sit down with the end customer and we have those conversations, but we do it with our partners next to us. They're in that passenger seat. And really what we're trying to acknowledge here is that for a lot of our partners, the cloud is very big and it's very complex, and it is impossible for one particular partner or advisor to be a subject matter expert on the entire cloud or the cloud in general. And so what we're providing here is a mechanism for our partners to be in a conversation with an end customer and be able to pivot quickly into a motion that's going to bring a great deal of value for that end customer. So it really is this channel for us to expose, a real high value experience for our customers and for our advisors to help bring that to them. And we're building a bunch of Envision sessions. I mean, it's not one particular solution. It's a whole library of Envision sessions. So as a partner, I can spend time with a customer, understand where their needs are, and really elegantly pivot into an Envision session.
And they're carrier or provider agnostic. It's we're really helping the customer. This isn't a sales pitch, correct?
Yeah, right. It is not a sales pitch, so I'll start there. So let's start there. It's a very deliberate, what I would call almost consulting discovery-esque type conversation, in the sense that we're going to have a deliberate path, right? We're not going to go into an Envision session and it's going to be trying to boil the ocean. We're going to talk about a specific topic, and for example, we're launching the Microsoft Security Envision session, and that'll be about security within the Microsoft stack. And that will help us really distill that conversation with real outcomes for our customers. It won't be, let's talk about Microsoft, because that's just a very broad conversation. You have to have some type of highway to go down, right? So these Envision sessions have, I don't want to say too narrow, but they have prescriptive discussions, right? And like we have an Envision session around Teams. We have an Envision session around Microsoft Azure. We're developing an Envision session around SaaS optimization, optimizing your cost and spend around SaaS, and helping our customers really navigate that conversation and really give them value at the end of it so that they can improve the position that they're in today.
You just mentioned a few of the Envision sessions that we have kind of on our menu board right now. If an end user, C-level buyer of telecom services, if something you just said, one of our sessions, perks their interest, how do they sign up? How does an end user or even a sales partner sign up for an Envision session?
Sure, no, great. So we have a registration form that we have online, and it's very straightforward. If they don't know where that form is, you're here at AppSmart, we have our CSM team that works with our partners to help them understand where these assets are. So, right now what we're doing is we're creating a whole bunch of social media assets that help end customers and our partners get to that form, get to that registration form. Of course, what we could also do is have our CSM register the customer for an Envision session as well. So, what we're trying to do is make it very simple. Just go to this form, register, we'll take it from there. Our team will schedule the Envision session, make sure that, our partners are part of that process, make sure this works for, the actual, customer, and then move the process along.
That's great. That's great. Well, it's a formula for success. I know you've done it at Insight very successfully. You're doing it here now. And I want to thank you for bringing that to us and for our end users and sales partners. So, Elliott, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun show, and then I know there are millions and millions of people watching you right now. Why don't you tell the viewers a fun little known fact about yourself?
Oh my gosh, fun fact. Well, I ran the Chicago Marathon in 2001, so I'll say that. I've got 4 adult children that have technically moved out, but they come back in every once in a while, so I feel a little bit like a hotel, but that's all wonderful. And I'll say this, fun fact, my oldest son is getting married in 2 weeks, so family's super excited about that.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations, man. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Successful in business and successful at home. Those two go together very well. That's really cool.
That's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
Well, I know you're a busy guy, changing the whole world at AppSmart, and thank you for carving out time out of your schedule, Elliott, to be on the Top Gun show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, everybody.